Palworld, the game that we all heard so much about a few months ago and then it died down. Well, it officially released on PlayStation just a few weeks ago, and instantly when it dropped, I was like, oh my god, I have to get a platinum on it. So that's what I did. If you don't know what Palworld is, it's essentially a survival game that just combines so many other games into it, it almost feels illegal. Funny to mention that, honestly, but it's like Pokemon, mostly Ark Survival Evolved, which a lot of people never mention, a bit of like Elden Ring, and just everything, but it's so good and I absolutely love it. So I decided to jump in and try to get a platinum on it. Now there's also like different ways that you can do it. You can like get the platinum in 5 hours if you change the settings, but honestly that feels a bit like boring and cheating, so I decided to go in the hard way. You'll just watch the video. It's a journey, you can probably tell by the title. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the rest of this video. It was a lot of fun to make. So we're in the world of Papagus. Yes, that is its name. And the first trophy that you essentially get is one for catching your first pal. I didn't actually get the recording of this just because I assumed there were no trophies at the beginning of the game, but you get one for just simply catching your first pal, which you do with a pal sphere. If you're wondering, it's basically like Pokemon. The pal sphere behaves like a Pokeball. You throw it at a pal, which is essentially a Pokemon, and then you catch it. That's the best way of explaining it. From there, I made my way down the hill that you spawn at, and one crazy thing that happened was I found my first lucky pal, or as I and many others like to just call them, a shiny pal. These are basically bigger versions of a normal one, and this one specifically being a Cativa. They kind of get some buffs here and there, but mainly they're bigger, they're shiny. They don't shine once you catch them, but they're still bigger than a normal one, and I guess they get like an increase in damage and some other stuff. And thankfully, I actually managed to catch it. So my second pal ever is a shiny one. This is already starting off to a pretty good start. From there, I found my first mini boss, if you would like to call them, a level 38 Mamorest, which is kind of a funny one to spawn so early in the game, considering that the way this map behaves is the higher that you go up, the more difficult stuff gets. So this one being down here, being a level 38, is kind of insane. Also, I found some other pals like a Gummas, Pegulet, and also an Ethicdir. If you haven't gathered it, I will probably butcher most of these names, and I won't be saying every single pal that I find. I just felt like mentioning them because, you know, the Gummas one is very funny. You see, he's a goofy silly boy. Also, I found my first lift monk energy. These are things that allow me to level up my catching ability of pals, or like the chances increase with the more lift monk energies that I find, and then upgrade that specific skill, if you would call that. And also on top of that, I need to find 255 of them for a trophy, which is kind of insane. Also, I found my first journal part, which is also kind of like the lift monk energies. For this one, I need to find 40 journal notes. I'll get onto those later on in the grind. For now, I'm mainly concentrating on, you know, the survival aspect of the game, and also finding my first base location, which is this location. It's kind of like early on, it's by the first boss tower, which is bosses that you have to fight inside the game, and it's definitely not a location I definitely used back when the game first released back on my PC, so definitely not choosing it because I really liked it last time. The next morning, I tried catching a Who Crate, which didn't go well because out of nowhere, it and a Daydream were basically attacking me, and I died. So that's my first death. Wow. Back at the base, I had a traveling merchant come by, and because I had to do it, I tried to catch him, and inhumane act trophy. At least they know that people do it, so they reward you for it. He's just gonna be sitting in my base from now on. After that, I decided to catch a lot of normal pals, and a lot of them at that. Then I beat up some lamb balls because I needed some wool, and just basically upgraded the base, which is the basic stuff that you do. Day 3, I explored a bit and found a syndicate outpost, one of the many bad guys in this game. They were fighting one of those deers, and I managed to catch it before it died, which gave me the newbie pal tamer trophy for catching 10 different pals. Look at me go, I'm getting these back to back. And also one neat thing is, at level 12, I will be able to ride it with a saddle, which is something that you can do inside of this game. Not only do pals help you out back at the base, each one of them will have their own specific abilities, if it's maybe mining some ore for you, breaking some trees, planting plants, or just putting stuff in chests. You can also ride them or even use them as weapons. It's honestly just peak gameplay right here. The next few days I explored and I found a dungeon, also a second lift monk energy, only 253 to go, stumble upon this funny funny dude. He wasn't in the game back when I first played. Speaking of abilities, one cool thing that this pal does, it flattens out and you can actually redeploy or just jump really high off of it. And on top of that, I discovered another dungeon, and this time around it has a Catras boss fight, which just adds on to more bosses. So there's the tower bosses, which are the actual story ones, and you get trophies for them. There's the mini bosses that you can just find walking around the place like we found in the first day, and then you can also find these ones, which are essentially like the bosses you find around the place, but they get a mini arena. It's nothing special, but it's still, I guess, a neat addition. From there, something that wasn't in the game before as well when I played happened, which was a meteor fell from the sky, and of course I had to go investigate it, but when I got there, it was surrounded by pals that were definitely too high of a level for me, and I just did not feel like trying to investigate more. Definitely something I'm gonna have to check out in later days. Back at the base, I made a wood harvester, which allowed the deer that I caught a few days ago actually have a meaning since it loves to mine wood, and that is of course until I get to ride it. And then in day 6, I decided to try to take on an alpha chillet, which is like one of the few challenges you have in your top right corner. It's something to just guide you through the game, and thankfully, because of my OP Cativa, who was absolutely insane against it, I managed to catch it. So there we go. And for that, I got ancient technology points, which is something that I guess I haven't talked too much about. Again, this game is very similar to Ark Survival, which is taking inspiration in the form of skill tier stuff. You use points to unlock stuff to be able to craft it or make it. So in this, they have the normal technology points that you just get for leveling up, and then you can also level up your character's stamina or their attack or health and stuff like that. But also on top of that, if you defeat bosses, you will be receiving ancient technology points, which is a different tab that gives you stuff that you think is more special, but it really isn't. It could be genuinely just placed back into the normal ones, since technology points are in no way difficult to obtain, but still it spices up the gameplay in a way. And because of that, I decided to get an egg incubator, because in this game you can actually find a bunch of eggs around the place that they can just hatch inside of egg incubators, and they can basically give you XP or pals that you mightn't have been able to get early on that are super late game pals, but they're usually like level 1 since they were just born. And for this egg that I decided to hatch, it was a hangyu. Okay, that's cool. And also on top of that, today I received the intermediate pal tamer trophy for catching 20 unique pals. Already? Damn, I just got the 10 one a few days ago. And then I found this giant dude, who I think I'll leave for now. He's a funny one. And on top of that, a village with merchants that sell you stuff, and it's just like a nice place that's actually not too far from my base. Day 10, I finally had the saddle made for the deer, which allowed me to explore more of the area around the place. And I found a dude who I accepted like a battle against, which I think is supposed to behave like, you know, the whole Pokemon thing where, oh, I'll fight you one-on-one, and then it just turned into like this anticlimactic thing that I defeated not only its pal but the dude very fast. Okay. Also on top of that, I found a merchant who is selling stuff for dog coin, which is also a new currency that was added not too long ago from my knowledge. I have gathered some of it and I was very confused why it's dog coin. Obviously I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like Dogecoin. Very odd addition, but you know what, it gives you cosmetics and like potions, I guess. So whenever I collect enough, I guess I'll come back. And then from there, finally, something that I was looking for some time, I found my favorite pal in the game, a dire howl. It's obviously no surprise why this is my favorite pal, but I managed to catch it, and we can finally say welcome back to Ella. She has returned once again, reincarnated in another game. Oh, the amount of games that Ella has showed up by now. You know, I'd love to be able to ride Ella in real life. Don't worry, I won't, and definitely haven't tried yet. Maybe. Also, I found a chest I could not interact with. Turns out it is a new pal. This is basically a mimic. I didn't know that at the time, but these dudes just chill around and you have to like attack them or try to catch them. And at the time I was like, oh, I must get a secret key, which is not the case. We will return to that later. Also, back at the base, I got my first raid. This tends to happen quite a lot throughout the game. Thankfully for now, they're easy enough, but get more annoying the higher level that you get. Also, I made a crossbow and the saddle for Ella. From there, the next day, I made the discovery I can have an iron ore mining site now, which is an incredible addition. Back again when I played for the first time, you had to basically find locations with iron, but now you can actually have one of these in your base, like the rock one and the wood one. Peak edition. Also, I felt comfortable enough to take on my first tower boss, which is the one that's just right beside me, and that was Zoe and Grizzlebot. For these, you get a nice little intro animation, and they just, you know, battle it out for a while inside of like the same arenas. You have 5 other towers on top of this one to defeat, and then on top of all of that, there is a trophy that you get for not only defeating this boss, which was specifically the Hillside Sovereign trophy, but also you then have to defeat the 5 other bosses that give you a trophy each, and then lastly you have to go back and refight all of these bosses in hard mode, which you do unlock once you complete all 6 bosses. Thankfully, I was very worried I might have to sacrifice everything and basically replay the entire game in hard mode, but thankfully you do not have to, and then you get another trophy for that. So there's a lot of boss fighting that I'm gonna have to get through, and yeah, it's gonna definitely be painful. Day 13, I went into my first cave dungeon where I found some new pals and a big pal at the end of it. Basically, again, shiny mini boss kind of a pal, but these are more random based. And also overall, I have to go through like 19 more of these normal dungeons, so that's gonna take a while. It's for a trophy basically. Also, I got an attack pendant for completing all of that, which increases my attack damage, one of the many accessories in this game. And also, ta-da! Most useful addition in the game, at least for now, the mining ore site has been finally built. Beautiful. Now I just kind of need to get better miners for this. Next few days, a lot of things happened, but also not a lot of things happened. Mainly caught a good few pals, found some new interesting locations like this cave with a dude who sells some sketchy stuff, and then I got a Nightwing from an egg that I hatched, which means I can finally get a flyable pal. Listen, Ella is incredible, but flying is the way to go in this game. Day 17, something very interesting happened that I didn't even know could happen. So, while I was exploring, I accidentally missed a Palsphere throw, which ended up hitting a merchant dude, and because not only did I fail, but also there was a second guy there that happened to try to attack me, and because of all of that, I ended up getting a wanted level in my top right corner. Just when you thought that they kind of like took most of the stuff from other games, they just take another one. Am I in like Red Dead 2 or something? To make matters worse, when you have this wanted level, from my knowledge, there's actually no way of getting rid of it, because I started running away and the enemies that were hunting me down were teleporting literally around me no matter what. Okay, then I decided to teleport myself back to my base, and then behold, there they are. So the only way that I figured out this will basically turn off the wanted level is by completely dying. I think this is probably the stupidest addition inside the game because it really frustrated me, but you know, I don't know, it's stupid. I don't know why it's in the game. I definitely am not gonna get this wanted level again, at least not on purpose or because I'm stupid to shoot someone, because screw that. Anyway, after all of those shenanigans, I found a neat new spot for a new base, since I finally upgraded far enough in the normal base to have 2 of them at the same time. This area has a lot of potential to become basically the new main area and, you know, an upgrade from that other open one. So I decided to kind of plan it out more by, you know, putting it in a comfortable location to build a really cool building and stuff like that. And funny enough, the minute that I placed down the like base thing, I got raided by Relaxosauruses, which are probably like the funniest pals inside the game. They're the ones that you see on all of the art and stuff like that, and I managed to catch one, and this one is now going to be the mayor of this land. From there, the next few days were once again a whole bunch of nothing and also a whole bunch of everything. So I hatched a Lunaris, which crazy enough sticks around with me inside of my like pal deck, or at least my pals on hand, throughout the entire playthrough, the entire crazy hours that I've played. This one is extremely useful because it basically just increases your weight, and of course I want as much weight inside of this game so I can carry stuff around. Then I found the shiny Dire Howl, which just even got crazier. Going from finding a normal Dire Howl, who was Ella, I managed to not only find this cool one but also catch it, which this is now the true real Ella. We don't talk about the phony one, okay? Then I stumbled upon Mount Obsidian, which is like a volcano island, and it's really hot here and like red, so I got away. And coincidentally enough, I managed to level up high enough to be able to get armor that basically gives me fire resistance, but I am not going to that mountain just yet. That's too high of a level for me. But instead, I decided to go to a mini desert that is actually not too bad of levels, and I managed to get my first best mining pal, the Dig Toys. This pal is incredible for mining, and I'm so happy I was finally able to upgrade to it. And from there, I just decided to work on the second base, XP farmed, made some metal armor this time around, then built some more, and more, and then some more, until I just kind of gave up and you know what, good enough for now. In day 29, I went mini boss hunting since I felt like I was strong enough, which didn't go well in day 30, unfortunately. But what did go well was the fact that I got this skilled Pal Tamer trophy for catching 50 pals. We haven't had a trophy in quite some time. Then in day 31, I went up to like the mini snow area. Basically, there's a mini desert and then there's a mini snow area, but then there's bigger versions of these places that you can explore if you feel comfortable enough with your levels. The main reason I did go here though was because there is a second boss tower to fight here, which I don't feel comfortable enough right now, but I did want to get here so I can basically get the fast travel. And then from there I decided to go to the desert just to get the third tower, or well, fourth, whatever, one of the other towers as a fast travel, since you know I had the armor that gave me fire resistance. The next day I finally learned of what that, you know, pal with the chest was, which is of course a mimic, and I tried to catch it, but oh my god, these guys are actually insanely fast. And thankfully, going back in day 33 to try to see if I could get it, I actually caught one, and it was called the Mimog. I'm never gonna use it, but good to have it. Day 34, I made my first actual gun, a pistol. It feels like really good to use, but man does it suck damage wise. I just pushed through and caught some mini bosses some more, and also I finally caved and I'm willing to own up to something. I guess I wasn't completely honest with you guys. You got me. You got me. The new base, the thing that I was supposed to build up insanely big and make it like the main base, is completely bugged out. I don't know if it's because in this like deeper area of the map, but wherever I place stuff, sometimes pals are like, oh, I can't reach this. Okay, let me break it and place it down again. Still can't reach it. So then what happens is the pal decides to go back to its like main pal base area location and then pop out and then go back in and then pop out. It's messy, and for now I just decided to try to concentrate on something else just to, you know, get my mind off of it. Maybe I can fix it later on, but for now this isn't looking very good if I'll be honest. So I just went back to hunting, which just went awful. Going from owning up about the base, I ended up getting in this situation. Basically, I decided to drop one of my torches that I always had on me just because I needed storage. And that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I could have made, because a boss that I decided to go fight, which was in a cave itself, making my way in, it turns out the place goes very dark, like very, very dark. And I think I spent at least 10 minutes getting in to fight it, which I did. It was actually completely accidental. I thought I was trying to get out. And then I took around 10 minutes to get out. It wasn't funny. I was genuinely willing to just give up, or at least completely give up on this playthrough right now and come back at a different time. But I pushed through and got it. No, it's not a hehe moment. It was painful. Day 37, it was where I just gave up on that other base, and I decided to go back to the old one, where I started to not only make like a bigger building here, which I might do stuff later on, but also on top of that, I made a production line, which is essentially like a faster crafting table where you can enslave your pals to work for you there. And then also I found like this cool panda that's like grassy called a Mossanda, and I made a grenade launcher for it. That chickpea stood absolutely no chance. And yeah, the next day I made a pal condenser and combined some pals with Ella. This is basically one of the many ways you can make a powerful pal. You can either breed them by romancing pals, if that's what you want to call that, or you can just take the easier way around and just combine pals together into one pal to make one strong one. And it's based by these stars. Also on top of that, there's actually 2 trophies that you can get from this. One from fully maxing out a rank of a pal, so essentially putting in the max amount of pals into one pal, which I do believe is 116 of them. That's kind of a lot. But to make matters worse, there's another trophy that you can get for combining 5 of them, like for making 5 maxed out pals. So basically 116 times 5. Oh, that's gonna take a while. One thing I did realize was I should probably get onto those lift monks, since if I do have to catch 116 each of the same pal, I will need to be better at catching them. So I decided to go hunting, and honestly it didn't last very long, mainly because my attention span is very bad and I get distracted very easily, but also because this pal bird, oh my god, it's so slow. Thankfully they just get faster and faster the like lower down in the levels that you go. So I upgraded to a vanworm, which I did have, and it was, you know, just a bit faster. It wasn't incredible. So after a while, as I said, I got bored and decided I wanted a handgun. New weapon. Yes, finally something better than this pistol. And it turned out to be bad. Great. Okay, how about a musket? Oh my lord, it's reloading so slowly. You're gonna kill me. Fine. No more distractions. Back to lift monks again, and maybe a bit of XP, since I do also need some XP, and maybe some dungeons, which actually give me some pretty good XP. Like, I get a good amount of stuff for like completing them. And also I got a Bellinor slab, which is something that like you can spawn in. It's like a boss, it's a PAL boss fight, which I guess adds on more complexities to the PAL stuff that I mentioned. The worst part about it, you gotta spawn it in your base, so I'm gonna worry about that later when I have a base that I do not care about and I feel, you know, more comfortable in my power. After that, I finally made the decision to get rid of the other base, speaking of, since it's just a waste of my time and potential of a good farming spot. That's why I will not fight Bellinor just yet. And I found one, which was this specific iron location. I know, I said that, you know, having the ore mining site is going to be incredible, but unfortunately, it's just not as fast or as good as I was hoping it, and having the both of them combined together, so having this PAL base mining ore and also back at my main base mining ore, combining together will definitely make life easier. I'm just using the metal way too fast on PAL spheres, so I really do need it, and it's actually pretty good. Like, I've over 250 ore already. Day 49, I decided I'll go up against the second tower boss fight. I felt like I was, you know, powerful enough, and I'm going to count Lily and Lylene as like the second one, which is, you know, that mini snow area. A lot of people do also consider that because they end up going up more and more in their health, and I'm pretty sure this is the second lowest one. Funny enough, when I went in, my game crashed on the cutscene, so that was a great start, but going back in on my second go, I just skipped over the cutscene and that managed to, you know, avoid the crash again. What made this kind of experience a bit worse after that crash was the fact that I failed. Yeah, just when I thought I was more powerful. So in day 50, I prepped with making a bunch of ammo and learning that fire pals actually deal more damage on them, which is something I didn't know. Basically, different pals have different effects on the opposite like element of a pal, which makes sense, but I just didn't expect it to work on the bosses themselves. So in day 51, I went back in and yes, I got them, and for that I got the Snowfall Sovereign trophy. After that, I just went XP collecting, getting the ability to have a third base, and then also unlocking this beauty, the ore mining site too. Maybe I don't need that other base anymore, but you know what? Who's gonna complain about that? From there, I went to explore the actual big frozen area of the map, which is like a giant mountain. They really like mountains in this, don't they? And I found a pump action shotgun schematic for like a green one, but I unfortunately can't make the shotgun shells just yet, so that'll have to wait, but that's a really nice find, at least for early game. I did stick around the area for a while, and I ended up finding a Zengard pal, which is a new one, and it absolutely destroyed me. For some reason, I thought I could compete against it, but that did not go well in any kind of way. By day 58, I was able to make a saddle for a boss pal that basically gave me more speed in the flying, which is definitely more welcome, and because of that, I went exploring and found a new area. At least new to me. It's like this new cool island with like cherry trees, cool Japanese buildings, and pals that are those are level 55. I am in no way able to fight you. But this is definitely like my new favorite location of the game. Not only do I love the like architecture here, just the look of it, but also there's like mushrooms. Who doesn't love mushrooms? On top of all of that, I did get some pretty good stuff here, like some flamethrower fuel, which I did not even know was in the game like at all as a weapon, but also the legendary PAL spheres, which basically means if I am potentially lucky enough, I could catch one of these higher level pals. Maybe not a level 55, but something around the same level, which I tried to do with these funny armadillo dudes. They almost killed me, but I got one. You know what? I'll take it. Anyway, that's enough exploring. Cool to see this location being added to the game, and definitely a welcome one. I'm curious if they're gonna add way more islands in the future. Maybe potentially someday we'll go to that giant tree in the distance. So I decided to go back to the lift monk hunt, since, you know, I still need 255 of them. I think the best way to hunt them is, you know, you could look them up online and see like a map, which I did for a while, but turns out just going at nighttime and seeing the green glow from insane distances, because I don't think there's a render distance on these, is like the best way to go about it. Day 61, I decided I wanted to go and buy stuff finally with the dog coins that I was able to accumulate over the past few days, and I found out that this dude also sells like this specific potion that ranks up the PAL that you want want to rank up. So if I was absolutely rich with these dog coins, that trophy would be specifically easy. But instead, for now, I'm going to invest in this hat, which was an absolute mistake. Not only does it not look as cool as I thought it would, but also it like decreases the amount of defense that you have from, you know, the normal metal one that you can use. But also I did make a really good purchase, like a really good purchase, and I'm really happy I did it because I got this multi-climactic undershirt. And the reason this one is really good is because it completely, and I mean completely, removes the heat and freezing effect that you get in any kind of biome. Basically, I no longer have to worry about the armor that I have on my character, and I'm just basically able to go anywhere, even if I'm naked, but I gotta have that undershirt on me. Genuinely amazing investment. And because of that, I decided it was time to go back to the volcano mountain and explore it, since I no longer have to worry about the heat. While I was here, I decided to hunt for both pals and some of the effigies, just so I can, you know, make progress on that trophy. Speaking of trophies, I finally got one. It's been forever. I got the Seasoned Pal Tamer for catching 90 different unique pals. I'm pretty sure the last one after this is 140, which kind of confuses me because I'm pretty sure there isn't 140 specifically unique pals, but I think it might also be counting the like different buffs that they have, or maybe if they're shiny or not. Who knows? I'm pretty sure it's possible since some people have already got it, not only on Xbox, PC, but also on PlayStation already. I did stick around here for a while. I got some meteor pals, found a good few new locations, which includes like this giant castle, which is really cool looking, and I would kind of consider making my base here in a future playthrough if I ever go back to this game. And of course, I've captured like a good few other pals. But after a while, I decided it was time to go back to the base to get some mandatory work going, since I've been postponing a lot of it, making ammo, new weapons, collecting pals to work for the ranks, lift monk hunting, and also I managed to make a saddle for, dare I say, one of, or well, two of the fastest pals. I would consider this one being one of the fastest, the Ragnarhawk, which I was able to catch back at that volcano island, and the speed on this is so much better than any pal that I've had. And also I realized that I really do need a new base, since I am able to place down a third one, and the reason for that is because I need coal, and a lot of it, because I need to make refined iron ingots now for not only bullets on some of the weapons in the future, some of the armor in the future, but also some of the stuff that I will be just able to progressively upgrade, and also on top of that, some of the pal spheres. So I was able to find out somewhere online that the mini desert that I spoke about earlier with the dig toys actually has this really nice location with coal, so I decided to set up base here, and I'm just gonna let it go because it does collect a lot of it. In day 67, I decided to go exploring again just for fun, and found the oil rig that I need to take down or control or something for a trophy. So I decided to fly over to it just to see, you know, if I can. It was a mistake. I almost instantly got lasered by their giant lasers and I died. One cool thing that I will give the game props is that they let me keep my storage. I don't know if that's on purpose because, you know, they know that people will die almost instantly. But I am not going there for definitely quite some time. Screw that for now. Day 69, I considered spawning in Belnor, but I found out that she has like 294,000 health. So I don't feel comfortable about sacrificing any of those bases just yet. So I decided to go back to the Snow Mountain to look for pure quartz, which I got. And the reason I need it is for circuit boards. But while I was here, I also wanted to look for a new fast travel area, so I decided to fly up to wherever the PA could fly up, and then I decided to redeploy to be able to fly over to that location more comfortably. But turns out, for some odd reason, you know, the way I flew up and tried to see how high the PA can go before its stamina was up, I think that was my stamina, because I ended up falling all the way down and just dying. I just felt like you had to know about this embarrassing death because it confused me, but also it was just kind of funny. After getting the pure quartz though, I made a better PAL sphere production line and basically just did the same thing over and over for the next few days. Lift monk hunting, base management, you know, my favorite thing to do inside of this game. A lot of waiting around. Also on top of that, I realized that I can change PAL names, which kind of sounded familiar. I don't know how I forgot that. So finally, Ella is actually Ella. And then finally on day 75, when I was casually just collecting lift monks, I got the Palpagus Guru trophy, which to my surprise was the 255th lift monk that I had to collect. Finally. no more collecting that. Genuinely kind of frees up so much time. And also on top of that, just the worry of like, oh god, did I get this one? Oh, I got this one. Did I get this one? I didn't get this one. I no longer have to worry about that. So the next few days I dedicated to some pal hunting and try my best to catch Dire House so I can rank her up. Also, day 77, nothing really happened apart from I made this cool container. It's like a huge storage area. I think it's cool. I thought you should know. I really like it. It spices up the area, makes it very stressful on the pause, makes me happy. And then day 78 was me building the shotgun, finally. But also, I literally just spent the entire day on it, like building it, like there was nothing else. It's kind of like that from now on. Like a lot of the days are just spent for crafting stuff. I am genuinely spending so much time just staying in my base, helping out my pals, or just making my pals do stuff like craft a bunch of pal spheres, craft a bunch of ammo, craft a bunch of weapons, craft a bunch of ammo, and then craft some maybe armor here and there. It's taking a lot of time and it's slowly getting to me, I will be completely honest. But I have it at last. The shotgun is mine. So with that, I was able to do the next boss. Been like a good while since I've done one, considering like the days that I'm on. But first, I did need like the ammo. Also ice pals specifically, since they're supposedly really good on it, because the tower that I'll be going for is the Axel and Ozark in the volcano Mount Obsidian, but I got instantly distracted by remembering I gotta get that, those 20 dungeons stuff trophy done. So I just decided to go hunting for those, but also because I wanted to get some XP to be able to make some better armor and better stuff so that I can make that boss fight even easier, because you get like around 5,000 XP again for completing those dungeons. And then on day 81, that was maybe not the best idea, because today, unfortunately, something bad happened. I was flying around the Mount Obsidian and looking around for dungeons in this area because I haven't done this one, and it just felt like, spicing it up and maybe doing like a lava volcano one. But unfortunately, I flew too close to lava, flew too close to the sun, and I ended up getting burnt and dying, which started a bit of an event. Because of this, I ended up getting my loot in a very, very bad situation. Not only did I lose my multi-climate undershirt, but also my pals weren't very good for collecting this off of lava. The amount of times I ended up dying, burning up, and trying to collect it was extremely stressful. To make matters worse, I did manage to pick it up once, and then I died instantly after picking it up. What happened was I ended up flying back to collect the loot finally comfortably. I opened up the sack and it was empty, at least most of it, and this defeated me. I genuinely thought I lost the shotgun I just made and all of the progress. Thankfully, turns out that when I picked it up like a while back, turns out that I had too much in my inventory, so the stuff that I picked up was in a different satchel. Because thankfully, a really cool thing inside this game is if you do have your inventory like dropping on your death, it will never, and I mean never, despawn. So I did find all my stuff, and instead of taking a break, calming down, I just went into a dungeon. Oh. But on day 84, I did get the Senior Adventurer trophy for getting all those 20 dungeons. Thankfully, that is done. Also, good news, I can officially make a coal mine, which I do kind of need for better ingots so that I can make more bullets. Also, coal can be used to make gunpowder, which you do need, but I also need sulfur. Again, going back to that thing where I said, it's just a lot of work, a lot of going back and forth, a lot of helping pals. So that's why I kind of wanted to do some stuff before I went to the boss fight, which I did by day 89, and surprisingly, it kind of went incredibly well. Like, it was really manageable, and I think it's like my favorite boss fight experience I've had. The first one was easy. The way I was prepared for this one just felt very rewarding for once, not spending a bunch of time making ammo and then losing. But for that, I did get the Volcano Sovereign trophy. And you know what? Because of that being so easy, I felt comfortable enough to do Marcus and Phalaris right now, which is the desert boss fight. This was a very bad idea because turns out that it is a flying pal. I didn't exactly know how to take down the flying pal. My damage on the shotgun was almost nothing because it was flying and I wasn't hitting the main areas on the bodies. So I decided to just essentially die just so I wouldn't waste more ammo, because it's either you run out of ammo ammo or you die. So that was probably the best thing to do for now, as I decided to upgrade, which I was also able to learn online that the best weapon, or at least one of the best weapons to use, is any kind of legendary one. And one of them that I can get is specifically a legendary shotgun that I supposedly can get from Suzaku mini boss in the desert. So I decided to go there and try to see if I can get it, and unfortunately I didn't. The reason for that is it is incredibly rare, like super hard rare, super rare. So I guess I'm just gonna constantly go back and try to see if I'm able to get it. To make matters kind of worse, or just to make things bad, I got a huge bird raid attack. Like, big birds decided to attack, and this was really bad because it ended up killing most of my pals, and the ones that just stayed were now sad and really hurt. This is gonna have a big effect on the base, won't it? But hey, I got the Iron Heart trophy in day 91 for smelting 10,000 ingots. Wait. No, there's like no way that I've done that. If anything, I'm pretty sure the charcoal that I've been smelting with the wood has been counting towards that, because there's just no way. Then day like 92 and 93 were me trying to level up, which, man, is this rough now. The 40 to 50 levels is in no way easy, and it's a pain in my booty cheeks. Day 94, XP grind. Day 95, XP grind. Day 96, yep, you guessed it, XP grind. And then I got to level 44 in day 97. That's like one level an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It's taking forever. All that XP hunting and pal catching got me the over hunting trophy in day 100. This one was nice, basically caught 1,000 pals altogether. I was kind of worried about this one, and then I somehow realized I had a blue AR all along, like from the dungeons that I've done, which, you know, isn't as good as the legendary shotgun that I've been trying to get these past few days, but I'll take it. So in day 101, I made it and tried to make like a bunch of ammo. So day 192 was just that. And then day 103, I went back to fight Marcus and Phaleris. And once again, I failed just when they were at 5,000 health. Are you kidding me? The reason I failed was I ended up running out of ammo, unfortunately, and then time, which was like the big problem, and I just can't believe they had 5,000 health. My pals were dealing no damage, I was dealing no damage, so I guess I need like over 1,000 bullets because I had like 800 and that wasn't enough. And then day 105 was my breaking point. I know at the beginning of this video I said that changing up settings is kind of lame and that I don't want to do it, but I've spent countless hours and I've played countless hours of not only playing this game, but I've gotten so far, and the thing that is slowing me down is the XP. So I decided to change my XP rate to be higher for catching pals or just doing anything inside custom settings. Now I know this is kind of like, you know, me contradicting myself, but I really had to make this change. And if you're playing this game, trust me, do not play with the normal XP. Not only does it get boring, but it'll just really get you. And honestly, changing that, look at that. Like, that is so much more XP. Beautiful. Apart from that, I thought I might be ready to go back and fight Marcus again, but no, that was not a good idea. Well, damn it, all that ammo is gone now. Jesus Christ, these boss fights and everything is just so much progress is just lost by silly mistakes. Day 106, I went back in and finally got them. Through a lot of pain and suffering, I got the Desert Sovereign trophy. But at what cost? The cost of a lot of ammo, that's what. Day 107, I decided to just scrap my big building I made at the main base, mainly because I'm kind of running out of space and I don't think I'll feel like making any builds. Basically, after that glitched out base, I lost all motivation. It's actually really nice and open now. From there, each day was trying to make things more efficient and better at production. Day 112, I got to level 52, which meant I got the sulfur mine, which is incredible since I had to like constantly go pick up the sulfur at different locations for gunpowder, but now I'll be able to just dedicate one of the bases to make like thousands of it. By day 115, I made the decision to fully automate everything so that I can completely AFK. That's kind of what you gotta do in this game. I need so many ingots to make ammo, but to make those I need like a bunch of ore or coal or palladium, and then I need charcoal and the sulfur to make gunpowder, and then I need like ingots to make the bullets, and then also I need the ingots and maybe like some of the palladium to make some of the pal spheres. I think you like get the idea. It's just so much work. Also, I really want the legendary schematics, which I learned that the Blazamut boss in the Obsidian Mountain can drop a legendary AR. So again, I changed my setting. I know, but this setting is incredible for the game, but also not. Basically, I made it so that the bosses will spawn in at 3, like 3 of them will spawn at the same time, but also all pals, like the other ones that you can find around the place, can spawn in with so many. So getting the 116 pals for ranking up will make life so much easier. But after deciding to go up against the Blazamut when there was 3 of them, I just turned that setting off for now because fighting 3 of them right now is actual pain. At this point, I just decided to complete the AFK. Like, I just did not touch my controller, and I did that for a solid amount of days. In that time, the main thing I did was build a wall around the main base area, which was actually a really good thing. Makes the place cozy, but also amazing against raids. Basically, they can't really get in. And I also learned about the oil extractor, since crude oil is really needed inside of the game, and the only other way that you can get it is from supply drops that are super, well, not super rare, but they're not super common to stumble upon. And the thing is, basically anything past level 15 inside this game, craftable wise, you need plasteel, which you do need the crude oil for. But for now, I don't really feel like making the oil pumping site because you do need like a specific area that has, well, an oil pumping location, which my base does not. So I don't think I need that for now. So then by day 130, I thought I could fight my next boss, I mean Victor and Shadowbeak, and no, I couldn't. This dude is way too strong. Going in again, I died again because I was like, maybe this time around it's not easy. And because of that, I felt once again concentrated on the gold schematic hunt would be a good idea, since that kind of died down the past few days after being AFK for so long. Now, I wasn't lucky enough to get a legendary shotgun or legendary AR, but coincidentally a supply drop did fall out of the sky and I did manage to get a purple AR schematic, which, you know what, is good enough for now. Then in day 132, I managed to get to level 55 finally, which means after over 130 days, I can get the best pal in the game. Shh, Ella, you're still my favorite. But this pal is the official fastest pal in the game, the Jet Dragon, a level 55 boss that is incredibly strong, at least to me, because I died while fighting him. But also, it's so fast and it makes your life so much easier. But also on top of that, it flies. Let's just say getting it really wasn't easy at all. I died after pouring like all of my ammo into it. So now I'm basically back at square one, you know, countless days AFKing, fighting other bosses and stuff like that, and then fighting this one. I'm back to having nothing. You know, this might be my favorite survival game, but man, does it suck with the way you have to AFK a lot. So back I go to the hibernation of AFKing. While that happened, I might have also done something, that being changing my setting again for the 3rd time. I know, once I started, there was just no going back. So I decided to basically increase my damage to pals to basically max and the capture rate to also max. I know, that is a pretty steep increase, and also I made a rocket launcher because that's pretty cool. So in day 136, while I AFK farmed, I tried to see if I could craft a bunch of arrows to get the ammo trophy, which is for like crafting 20,000 ammunition, and I did, the blood and iron. Interesting to see that arrows count. Thankfully, that is less like recording pointless AFK sessions. Now I can just, you know, craft a bunch of stuff and not worry that I won't be able to capture the trophy popping up in the corner. Now because of that, I guess I'll go fight a Jet Dragon again, since I think I'm basically a god inside of the game, and oh boy am I. Not only did I get the trophy for getting it, but also I finally have captured it at long last. And because of that, there's like 3 other pals that I can get for a trophy. They're basically like the mini bosses around the area that are all level 55. So I went for Paldius and Nocramus, which are like 2 pals that spawn together, and I was really strong against them. They were also pretty strong, and unfortunately one of them did end up dying, and I only got the Paldius trophy, and the Necromus one died. I guess I'll come back to that one because for now I'm going to go for the Frost Stallion, who is in the Snow Mountain area, and for that I got the legendary Steed Ice trophy. And then I went back to Necromus, who managed to respawn, and I got the like last trophy for catching the difficult pals. Nice. From there I decided to go get Gojo again, and well, maybe I'm a tad bit OP because I managed to destroy it almost instantly. So because of that, I just decided to change my setting again. I know, definitely not my last time changing it. The rest of this video is honestly a roller coaster. From there, I did manage to make the Jet Dragon saddle, and oh lord, is this thing so fast and amazing. From there I decided to just hunt down some pals, and I managed to get the exceptional pal tamer, which was the 140 pals caught that were unique. And from there I was like, well, I mean, that's done. Might as well try to see if I can get the 2000 pal spheres crafted trophy. And I did. Wow, so many trophies back to back. Maybe I should have changed these settings sooner. Now I want to try the last boss, which is in the level 55 area, and man, is this a difficult one. Not only did I get absolutely destroyed within seconds after changing those difficulties, but I went in multiple times and I died multiple times. So I decided to lock in, and I dedicated these next few days to grind out some kind of legendary schematic, because honestly I feel like that's clearly what I need for this boss. Also, in that meantime, I decided to catch some pals to rank up, so I upped the amount of pals that spawn into 3 again, or like whatever amount that they spawn in. So that meant in day 148, oh my god, I'm on day 148. Anyway, I got the all for one trophy for maxing out Ella, which was my first pal to max out, and I also got the lamb ball, but no trophy for that. So that means I kind of need only 3 more, and then I went back to fight the boss and I died again. I'm not angry, you're angry. Honestly, I wish I would have recorded like my voice after fighting each one of these bosses, because I was defeated. Not really angered, just really sad. Kind of frustrated as well. Thankfully, it's not all bad news, because on one of the many outings to see if I can get a legendary schematic, I finally got the legendary AR. Oh my god, this took so long. Schematic? Oh. Which means that on day 150, I got it made, and also a lot of ammo, and I went and died. Why is this boss so difficult? And I died again. And I think again. Okay, fine. This is the breaking point. Again. Breaking point like part 3 or something. I decided to change the difficulty. Okay? Happy? You made me do this. Okay? You watching the video? Yeah, you made me. Okay, no, that's gotta mean you didn't make me do this. My brain made me do this. But thankfully that allowed me to complete this goddamn boss fight, which meant I unlocked the hard mode once, which is really exciting. So I decided to try out the first tower that I did all those days ago, and I instantly died. Like, why is there a guy shooting at me almost instantaneously? You know what? For now, we're gonna cut that off, because for once I am willing to own up. Well, there's a lot of owning up in this video. I do need that damn oil farm to upgrade my armor and my shield and other stuff, because clearly these were added on after level 55 came out. And even though I might be super overpowered against these pals, I am getting absolutely destroyed. So I decided to sacrifice one of the bases so I can, build a new one. But before that, I finally spawned in Bellinor, and I got that super easily done. Well, okay, free trophy. So then I was like, I got the Blazamut reuse slabs, might as well try to see if I can get that. And oh my god, this thing is a beast. It destroyed all of my pals in one shot, and then it killed me. To make even things worse, going back, it's still there. So I just decided to AFK while it despawned, because it has a timer, and then I was able to get my stuff back. I am not doing him for a while. Once I was able to basically delete that base and get a new one set up, which I really like this area, I got 2 oil rigs going over time while I AFK'd for an incredibly long time, which got me all the way up to day 172, which was actually a very eventful day. Got the Trial of the Castaway trophy, because I've managed to collect all the 40 notes over those few days of AFKing / playing, and also the Resentment trophy for getting 5 pals max ranked. Not too bad, closer and closer to the end. Then in day 177, I finally made the best armor I could inside of the game, which was at level 55, and I decided it was time to go to the oil rig, which started off rough because of the lasers, but surprisingly, I got to the oil rig and I was clearing everyone out. I was pretty powerful, again because of the settings that I had, but then I died, which ended up being like one of the worst things that could have happened. Not only did I drop a lot of really good stuff that I really needed back, but every single time that I attempted to go back to the oil rig, I was getting absolutely lasered by the lasers, by the enemies, the pals. Basically, I was insta-dying almost every single time. And ladies and gentlemen, this was the official breaking point. I'm able to basically make myself a god inside of this game, essentially making any hit that I take from anyone to be one damage. And that's what I did, ladies and gentlemen. I spent over 90 hours to get to this point, which was a lot of AFKing and a lot of playing. I have poured in so much time into this game, and just to go from leveling up stuff, making countless bullets, to then lose them like this, no, this was my breaking point. So I decided to finish this damn platinum off finally. I became a god. I defeated the oil rig, or well, opened the like gold chest and got the Conqueror of the Sea. Then I did the 6 bosses in hard mode. Zoe down. Got a cool hairstyle from it, and basically got that from all the other bosses. My favorite one is Gojo. I'm literally him, peak gaming. And then I did the last boss, which means I got the Champion of Palpagus Island trophy. Was that extremely easy and borderline cheating? Maybe. Do I care? No, not really. It's like, you know, maybe like a Souls game where you go back and fight the boss over and over and over, and then you just learn its movesets, which is the exact same thing here. But the difference between a Souls-like game and this is, in a Souls-like game, you don't spend countless hours building up something and then losing it. You kind of still keep most of the stuff. In this, you spend countless hours building up a character with the armor and the weapons, and then you can just lose them just like that. Mainly the bullets, which really gets to me. And then I decided to fight the last 2 bosses that I had to. First up, the Blazamut Ryu, which wasn't too difficult and I got it in day 81. And then lastly, the last version of Bella Noir, which I managed to get. And for that, I got the Incarnation of the Eternal Flame, the Eclipse Siren, and lastly, the Palworld Platinum Trophy. I feel disgusting. Okay, so that's the video. We are doing a completely different outro today. You can see my background. That's not my setup. My beautiful domain is right here. Which is just a bunch of nerdy stuff. The background is more of my fiance stuff. But the reason I'm recording this right now the way it is because unfortunately all of the footage that I recorded today at the beach, which you might have seen like that bit where I sit down on Ella, which was supposed to be like one of the many little clips and stuff that I include, I didn't include. And the main reason I'm not going to include them is because the audio is absolutely abysmal to the point where it just annoys me. So I like include a clip right now if you're interested in what it sounds like. Did I do it? I hope I did. But that's like the side note of stuff. I just still wanted to include my what is that? What is that? It's been on there this whole time. Yeah, I platinumed the game. I might have changed up the settings, even though I said at the beginning that I didn't want to change them. If you're wondering, if you're like maybe a subscriber, like the 2,000 people that are on this channel, I did have fun facts in this video, and they were kind of meh. If you're wondering what they were, I guess I'll just say them real quick. Basically, other games that Pocket Pair, the team that made Palworld, has made. And also the other one is like scrapped content / original ideas they had for the game. So that's like about it. Apart from that, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry for changing my settings. I know that's kind of like beating the whole purpose of trying to do it the difficult way. I spent over 90 hours. I think it's like 96 exactly right now without me going in to get like extra footage and screenshots for the thumbnail. But yeah, I had a lot of fun and I'm really enjoying making these like platinum videos. So hopefully you guys enjoyed them as well. I know it's like the normal formula that everybody does on the internet, but like platinums are fun and why not just record it, you know? So hopefully you guys enjoyed. The next video should be out in like 2 weeks. I have a calendar here, maybe shorter. And yeah, hope you like the where's my hand? Oh, I'm getting there. Spooky. That's a mushroom. That's not mine. Oh god. Spooky. Palworld. PS5. Clothes that are sticking out. There they are. Ripped up poster by Cat. Star Wars poster that I don't like anymore. Art. Okay, I'm getting too much into it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out. Or something. Oh.